Hello, everyone, and welcome to MHS Sports on MHTV. I'm Jess Burton, and today we're at Staff Sergeant Christopher Piper Field at the Alexander Kulovich Athletic Complex on the campus of Marblehead High School as the Magicians Boys Lacrosse team takes on the Salem Witches. We'd like to thank National Grand Bank for being our community partner in bringing you MHS Sports on MHTV, and stay tuned to the end of the game when I'll announce the Marblehead Sports Shop Player of the Game. Well, the Magicians come into the game looking to snap a two-game losing streak. They are 3-4 overall up against the 4-6 Witches. They've lost their last two games in close matchups, 11-9 and 11-10, versus two very difficult opponents in Wakefield and Masco last week. This is the first of two winnable games for the Magicians this week as they look to get back to 500 and above it. So they'll play Salem today, and then they have another home game with Beverly in a few days. The current rankings just came out for the MIAA, and the boys are ranked number 17 in Division II right now, despite the 3-4 record. So that's actually a pretty good spot to be in for the time being, but again, they're going to look to improve on that. While the Witches are ranked 33rd in Division IV. So again, this should be a very winnable game for the Magicians on paper. Looks like we are ready to go as the Magicians will work their way from left to right across the field for the first quarter. Witches will go right to left towards the parking lot. You have Colin Maniaci in net for the Magicians, younger brother of Finn Maniaci, who was so good for the Magicians for so long. And on the other end, I believe it's Vincent Milano in net, who will probably see a ton of shots from the high-powered Magicians offense today. They win the opening draw, control the opening faceoff, and first possession. And there's a high shot from Will Sullivan, who has had quite a season so far. Sullivan leads the team, actually tied, with Reese Moore. They both have 23 goals on the year. Those two will look to lead the offense again today, as they have all season long. There's a cut middle and another shot by the Magicians. This time it is Moore, and that one bounces wide. So in the first 37 seconds, a shot by each of the top scorers for the Magicians. Sullivan has this one jarred loose for a moment. He'll pass it back to Colin White. And now with Reese, runs into a defender, back to White up top. Across the 1-minute mark played here in the first quarter. We'll play 4 12-minute quarters. And there's a low shot. This one is from James Akhtaroff, who's put together a pretty nice season as well with 4 goals and 2 assists. Quick restart from the Magicians. Up to Akhtaroff again. And they'll spin it. Sullivan out from behind the net, sheds the defender. And this is probably what we can expect throughout the game, as that is Moore, who dives through the middle. Nice catch and shot that ends up in the goal for the first goal of the game. 1-0, beating Milano down low. But long possessions are probably what the Magicians want to do today. As long as they control possession, they'll probably be in control of this game. So there was a penalty at the same time as the goal was scored against Mikey Curtin, number 2. So Magicians on a power play here early in the first, already leading 1-0. Pretty good save by Milano there, as he got a piece of that one to push it by the near post on our side of the field and into the corner. It was a good stop, though, on a hot shot from Moore. More fires. Another good stop by Milano that ricochets towards the end line. Magicians will keep the ball. Good hustle to get down there towards the end of the field. Coaching staff for the Magicians yells out a play. And the Magicians execute it. That is Tyler Forbes with the goal. 2-0 Magicians. So for Reese, that was his 24th goal of the season. For Tyler, it is his 8th. This is the first meeting between these two teams this season. The Magicians game at the end of the week on May 1st against Beverly will be the second matchup with the Panthers, as that shot is stopped by Milano. Loose out in front, scooped up over the crossbar, and a whistle. Cross-check on Jaden Benson, number 11 for Salem. He'll head to the box. Another power play coming here for the Magicians. Already 1-for-1 in a man-up situation. The Magicians' first win of the season came against Beverly, 16-10, so they'll look to repeat that at the end of the week. Again, coming off an 0-2 week, but some tight ones against Wakefield, who might be the best out-of-conference team they'll play this season, and against Masco, maybe the best in-conference team they'll play this season. But at least they put up good fights against both. There's a hard shot from Kyle Thibodeau, and Milano doing his part, at least for now. It is 2-0, but he's already made a handful of saves. Magicians very condensed right now around the perimeter. Not much of a shooting lane there for Sullivan. He tried it, but it was blocked. Looked like that was off the leg of Curtin, who's back in there after committing the first penalty, and he's going to limp that one off. That definitely hurt, hit him around the shins. And there's a laser from Moore just underneath the crossbar. That's his second of the game and makes it 3-0. Magicians off and rolling here early. We already had one big win from the Magicians covered a couple weeks back against Danvers. And what was a 2-1 week for the team. The 12-2 win over Danvers here. I believe that was the final. Actually, might have been even bigger than that. That came on the heels of a overtime loss to Swampscott, and then they followed that up with a 12-3 win over Peabody. That 12-2 doesn't sound right. Salem yet to have the ball in this one. Sullivan draws a double team, looks back. Thibodeau dropped it, collects it. Another long possession. And a save by Milano. His pass out bounces to its target. Number 27, Jack Lister, was trying to run it down. Couldn't collect it, and a spoiled opportunity for Salem to get their first possession of the game. Magicians are going to look to do more damage here off the turnover. And Sullivan kind of short-armed or rethought the pass. Ends up across the field and out of bounds. Yeah, that's my mistake. That was a 17-3 win over Danvers. I knew there were more goals than that. Pass goes through the middle, rolls all the way to the logo. It'll be chased down by Sullivan. After these 2 games at home this week, the Magicians will then play 4 straight on the road. Moore tried a no-look shot that goes past the post and out of bounds. And it will be Salem ball. It's the first time they have crossed midfield with it. They can finally set up their offense. It took 6.5 minutes to get the ball across the timeline for the Witches. Let's see if they can do anything with it, try to get back into this game. Trailing 3-0. And the pass is picked off. Excellent play by Grady Becker with the long stick to steal that one. Start transition. Pass middle. Sharp passing from the Magicians. Ends up in a shot and a goal for Sullivan. Excellent job there in transition off the turnover between the Magicians' offensive players Forbes, Radovsky, Moore, all had a hand in Sullivan scoring that goal, and it's 4-0. Timeout on the field. So we'll set up a face-off here after the Sullivan goal, which is late to break the huddle. But they got to try to find another gear here to keep up with the Magicians, or it's going to be a long, quick afternoon for them if we do get to 10 goals. It's running time, I believe. It's 10 or 12. But they're in danger of falling way out of this one early on here. Under 5 minutes to play in the first quarter. The Magicians and Kyle Thibodeau, who's been so good in the face-off circle this season, wins another one. You can see the difference in the possession here for the Magicians. They're very spread out as opposed to when they were on the power play, when they were really condensed. Sullivan tries to fire quickly and catch Milano off guard, but the Salem goalie was ready for it. He beats him that time. That is his second in a row. It makes it 5-0. So Sullivan and Moore, both with 2 goals here in the first quarter. That gives them both 25 goals scored this season. They continue to go back and forth as the team leader in that category. And that's a false start against Salem. Another possession for Marblehead, and this is Bernardo Banis in there, along with Ben Zemansky. And head coach John Wilkins does a nice job of getting a lot of the, call them reserve players in there, or second string players, into most of the games that they play, but we're going to see a bunch of them, I assume, here get a lot more minutes than they might be used to, especially if the game continues to go the way it is so far. And it is 6-0. That is another one for Sullivan. Mark it down for 3 straight and an early Magician's hat trick for Will. Good battle on the face-off. Won by Salem. Flag comes out. Ball still loose on the turf. Picked up very quickly by the Witches, and now they do secure it. This is with Andreas Bernal. He has it knocked out of his stick. It rolls towards the end line, a foot race to it. There's a tripping penalty against the Magicians. Gavin Ferretti takes a spot in the penalty box. We'll see if Salem can do anything with the power play here. Three minutes left in the first quarter. As that shot was taken, you could see it just kind of popped out of the stick of Bernal. They'll keep it. Back out to Bernal. He gets rid of it quickly on a hop, picked up by Curtin. Back to Curtin. And the pass middle behind the target and dropped. Oh, and the Magicians almost shoot themselves in the foot there. Tedeschi fumbled it into the crease. Good cover by Maniaci. Jack Lister was the guy cutting through the middle of the field for the Witches that couldn't control the pass. Now this one's intercepted by Curtin. Curtin gets behind the defense, shoots. Maniaci makes a save. It's with Zemansky across midfield. Tries to stay in bounds, has to get rid of it. Just chucks it in, and it's a turnover. Good hit by Salem on Zemansky to force him to just have to throw it back in bounds. Over to the far wing. Spin it behind the net, back out to Lister. As they make these passes, they're actually moving farther away from the net. It's not what you want to do, as you do want to get the defense to take a few steps back every time you spin it around. The shot went wide. They'll keep possession. They're able to get that shot away because of the solid screen that was set. Now they're going to try to go one-on-one. Bernal pushed back by Banis. Curtin will try his luck. Fires high. "18 seconds left in the first quarter. A good effort by the Witches, number 13, Gabe Bennett, to force his way towards the crease, but as he got there, he dropped it. Magicians send it upfield, and that's the horn. And that's the end of the first quarter. A dominant first quarter. They controlled possession for most of it, did the Magicians, and they lead it 6-0 after one, behind 3 goals from Sullivan, 2 from Moore, and 1 for Forbes. We'd like to thank National Grand Bank for being our community partner in bringing you MHS Sports on MHTV. We'll be back with the second quarter. Welcome back for the second quarter. The teams will switch ends. "6-0 after the first 12 minutes. And the Magicians trying to snap a 2-game losing streak. Already in good position to do it. Thibodeau wins the opening draw. Quickly to Moore. That went way wide. Actoroff sends it over to Walcott. Behind the net with Sullivan. And out to Reese. Number 5, Sean Dolan. Dolan and Moore, the 2 captains of the team this year. They look middle for Moore. Faked the shot, got the goalie in the air. His momentum took him behind the net. So they continue long opening possession here, already across 45 seconds. Same sort of opening possession they had in the first quarter that broke a minute. There's Sullivan. Back to Walcott. It's thrown away. Trying to get it over to White. But he keeps it in. Dolan to Moore, back to Dolan. White looked like he was loading up to shoot. And instead goes to Moore, who spins with a one-timer that goes high. But the possession continues for the Magicians. Now at 1 minute and 45 seconds. Moore wide open, shoots low, and Milano made a leg save. Good spin move by Bernal to get away from two defenders. Gets the shot off. Maniaci makes the stop. A very long possession for the Magicians, a very quick one for the Witches. Neither score. Magicians have it back. And it's thrown away. And then lost. Witches defense can't secure it. Walcott scoops it up. Sullivan drops it middle. And Akhtarov scores. Seven nothing Magicians. This time Thibodeau over eager in the face-off circle, gets called for the false start. Salem needs a goal badly. 8:45 left before halftime, trailing by 7. Bernal works middle. And it was knocked away from him as he tried to shoot it. And it's picked up and run out of there by DePhillips. And DePhillips lost it. Gets it back quickly. Over to Moore. Good catch by Sullivan. Back up top with Dulac. Flipped into the middle, off the post. Grisato just missed, but he gets back to it. To the point with Sullivan. Dulac picks it up after he couldn't catch it cleanly. Grisato looks middle, connects with Moore. Fires it past Milano, and it's 8-0. A hat trick for Reese Moore. Another face-off win for the Magicians. Couple quick passes. And denied right outside the crease. Good read by Milano. Stops a shot from Radovsky. Tried to fake low and go high on him. And a good read by Milano. And despite giving up the 8 goals, Milano seems to be one of the stronger parts of the team. He's made some good saves. Figured he would be bombarded with shots all afternoon, as up until this point. Don't really see it stopping anytime soon. But this could already be a 12-13 goal lead for the Magicians if he hadn't made some good stops along the way. Moore finds space, shoots. I think that hit off the helmet of the player in front of him. Looked like that was off of 24, Miguel Pontius. Possession kept by the Magicians. Another jump-in save by Milano. Hit him in the feet. Ball jarred loose from Benson just before midfield. Not sure he even knew that it was knocked away from him. And it's forced out of bounds, back to the Magicians. Gallo across the 35 as Reese Moore open, hits him. Moore just outside the crease, fakes. This time he beats Milano. That is 4 for Reese Moore, and he makes it 9-0. The Magicians have controlled basically every possession. I think they've only lost one face-off and then had the one false start. And that is goal number 10. That is the second of the day for James Akhtaroff. That gives him 6 on the season. 10-0. With 5:08 still to play before halftime. A dominant performance here from the Magicians. And a timeout going to be called by Salem. Make sure you stick around to the end of the broadcast. We'll pick a Marblehead Sports Shop Player of the Game. Also like to remind you that MHTV is a 501c3 nonprofit organization, so if you're enjoying this production of MHS Sports on MHTV, please click subscribe on our YouTube page and also consider making a donation by visiting our website, marbleheadtv.org, and clicking on the donate button there. 5:08 left before the break, 10-0 Magicians. Well, when you lead 10-0, not much to talk about in the huddle. The Magicians get back out there quickly, as the Witches are going to use the entire timeout. But for them, it starts with possession. They just need the ball. They've had trouble controlling it, if they have had it. But it starts in the face-off circle for them, too. They need to win one. But going up against Kyle Thibodeau, that's tough to do. Turned into one of the best face-off players in the NEC. There's a battle for it. And Thibodeau had it for a moment after got some help from DePhillips, but now it's knocked loose again. And it ends up being secured by Grady Becker. He flips it to Maniaci, and Maniaci throws it into the middle of the field by Thibodeau. But Halpern runs it down. Jared Halpern, an excellent soccer player. Seeing his first action of the day. He and his sister Sadie, both outstanding soccer players. Banis barrels his way forward through a defender. And if you didn't know he was a running back, he always proves that he is with plays like that. Got to be brave to get in front of Bernardo. That pass goes by him as he was cutting towards the net, and it goes out of bounds. Witches will have the ball. Salem runs it up the far sideline. Still looking for their first goal of the game. We've played over 8 minutes here in the second quarter. Now 20 total minutes have gone by. Witches have just a couple of shots on goal to show, and no goals. Bernal and Curtin, along with Lister, the three out here on the perimeter, look like the three most confident offensive players. And this team is 4-6 overall, ranked 33rd in Division 4. And that is knocked away from Curtin, picked up by the Magicians. Run out of there by Radovsky. To Banis. Banis gives it up. Pass out in front. Drops at the feet of Radovsky. And is shoveled out of there. And the Witches have it. Banis and Zemansky both chasing after Bernal. Bernal gets it over to A.J. Alessi. .220 left before halftime. Alessi drops that one and is challenged by John Schaefer. Alessi draws a double team, gives it up. 2 minutes to play. Banis defends Curtin. Banis slide steps with the ball. Curtin still with it. Headed behind the net. This is the longest possession of the game for the Witches. Let's see if they end up scoring off of it. Here's a shot that Maniaci wraps up, saw it the whole way out of the stick of Jake Leister. 1 minute. Long pass, connects to DePhillips. On a hop. Zemansky had it for a moment. It's knocked towards the near sideline. Chased down there by Halpern. With Grisado. He lost it. Salem picks it up. Halpern lays a shoulder into the ball carrier. And Benson, number 11, just got rid of the pass. It kind of ends up in no man's land. Picked up by the Magicians. With 20 seconds before halftime. Mark Grisado runs it across midfield. He's got Walcott up ahead. He hits him with it. Walcott behind the net. Lofton pass out towards Halpern. Few seconds left. Magicians try to beat the buzzer. It's Banis. Rears back. Fires on one hop. And the save is made by Milano. And that ends the half. It is 10-0 Magicians. Again, I'd like to remind you, MHTV is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. So if you're enjoying this production of MHS Sports and MHTV, please click subscribe on the YouTube page and also consider making a donation by visiting our website, marbleheadtv.org, and clicking on the donate button. We'll be back after this with second half action. See if the clock runs when they come out of halftime. I wonder if it's like some sort of was working on that lecture the other day, and like looks like 10 minutes of it basically. There was no audio, so I reached out to Joe Kowalik to see if he wants to re-record that part. But I don't know why they can't get the audio right over there. Maybe it was a Zoom thing. But
it's like a button that they have to push, like, you know, pre-game to first quarter.
It should be so simple. Welcome back for the third quarter from Piper Field. The Magicians lead it 10-0 at halftime. Three goals for Will Sullivan, 4 goals for Reese Moore, 2 for James Akhtaroff, and 1 for Tyler Forbes. Magicians will go left to right again. Witches right to left. Thibodeau wins another face-off to begin the third quarter. A little short hop to Halpern behind the net. He gets it back out to Walcott. Out there with Sean Dolan and Akhtarov. Now Colin White joins it. '16 is Hayden Gallo. Akhtarov fires past the post. Whistle blows the play dead. Another turnover by the Witches. DePhillips runs it across midfield. Gives to Walcott, and now to Gallo. 17 is Gallo, Walcott is 16. Those two switch numbers. This is Akhtarov. Bouncing shot up under the crossbar. A magician's hat trick for James Akhtarov, and that makes it 11-0. Akhtarov now with 7 goals on the season. The 4 by Reese Moore put him up to 27. Sullivan's 3 give him 26. And Forbes' solo goal gets him to 8. I assume that Moore and Sullivan will both be candidates for NEC MVP towards the end of the season, especially if they continue to score goals at this clip. They've both had games where they score 6, or maybe a couple games where they've scored 6. Halpern comes out from behind the net, tries a shot of his own that goes wide into the near corner. Halpern does not have a goal yet this season. Was fishing for one right there. He has 1 registered assist. It's interesting that Salem has already played 10 games, and the Magicians have only played 7 up until this point. Games 11 and 8, respectively, for the teams here today. It's going to be Salem ball. Bernal chases down the catch he couldn't make. Salem really just doesn't move the ball fast enough to catch the Magicians off guard. They're easily able to defend this team one-on-one, which is going to make things very difficult for the Witches, and they don't set a lot of screens. One of their better shots of the game did come off what could have been a screen and roll, but just ended up being a screen and a shot from deep. That goes out of bounds. Bennett behind the net couldn't make the catch, and that should be Marblehead ball, and it is. Banis out from behind the goal. Pass midfield. Pushes off number 5 like nothing, but gets called for the charge. It's a bad pass. Bernal was trying to get that to number 17, who was down by the goal line. Very difficult. And that is Hayden Gallo on the other end. Turns the turnover into goal number 12. And now we have run in time until the Witches can get the deficit under 12. It looks like that's going to be difficult for them to do. We'll see. Also believe that that is Hayden Gallo's first goal of the season. Halfway through the third quarter. Sam Tanger enters the game on the back end for the Magicians. Here's a shot from point blank range that Milano makes a stop on, but unable to secure it. It bounces away from him, past the 30 and the 35. Towards the sideline, picked up there by Halpern. Kicked out to Dolan. And the captain, Sean Dolan, scores. He makes it 13-0 on his second of the season. Magicians led 6-0 after the first quarter, 10-0 at halftime, 3 more here in the third. Seems like the Salem Lacrosse program still really trying to find its footing. School not known as a lacrosse school. Much better in sports like basketball and baseball. which they usually make deep tournament runs in. But that's how the Magicians lacrosse program is as well. They are used to making deep tournament runs, being one of the more dominant teams, not only in the NEC, but on the North Shore and extended. So 2 different programs here, and clearly different talent levels, and the superior team having their way this afternoon. Another poor pass by the Witches, and the ball's going to go back to the Magicians. Well, maybe not. I think James McKenzie is headed to the penalty box for a slash. Bernal bobbling it. Can't get back to it. Kicked ahead by Schaefer. Scooped up, but backtracking was number 24, Pontius. Even down a man on the field here. The Magicians finding a way to control the possession. Here's Banis. Short-handed. Saves made by Milano. Catch by Benson, unable to be made. Flag comes out. It's going to go against Benson and the Witches. Another excellent save from Milano. Took a goal, away from James Aktoroff there. And they will send Benson to the box. .50 left in the third quarter. Now the Magicians are on a power play of their own. Ball was dropped by Dulac, picked up by the freshman long stick player, Max DeFranzo. Oh, Banis levels the ball carrier, Coughlin, to the turf. Banis goes to the box for the body check. Aktoroff goes to the box for a slash. And that happened while the clock came to triple zeros on the third quarter. 3 goals in the quarter for the Magicians. They lead it 13-0 after 3. We'd like to thank National Grand Bank for being our community partner in bringing you MHS Sports on MHTV. Stay tuned for the fourth quarter coming up. Welcome back for the fourth quarter. Teams will switch ends of the field for the final time And in net now for the Magicians is Graham Ferretti, taking over for Colin Maniaci, who shut out the Witches through 3 quarters. And again, unless the Witches can score a couple of times here, cut the lead to less than 12, the time will continue to run, and this will be a very quick 4th quarter. Nice catch by Bernal. Bernal gets by the defender, shoots low, and scores. So Ferretti allows a goal on the first shot that he sees. And it's 13-1. That was a power play goal for the Witches. Those 2 penalties at the end of the 3rd quarter against the Magicians are off the board now. Thibodeau wins the faceoff. Can't get back to it. And it's dropped by DeFranzo just outside the crease. The Magicians secure the ball. I would expect this possession to last at least a minute. As long as they don't turn it over. Banis able to pick it back up. Now Bernardo works his way into the middle of the field, and he's going to fire on his own. He gets loose and scores. And that makes it 14-1. It's Bernardo's 3rd goal of the year. This time Thibodeau able to secure it on a hop. Walcott gets shoved down, loses the ball in the process, picked up by the Witches. They'll try to run it out. Gallo takes a couple of chops at 24, Pontius. Now Pontius battling for the ball with Tanger on the far sideline. And it's going to be Marblehead ball. Nice job by Tanger. Gallo has it on the far sideline. Halpern, jump shot, leaping out from behind the net. Stopped by Milano. Jared absorbed some contact as he took that shot as well. And Jared looking for his first goal of the season. He's come out from behind the net to try to score a couple times today, but yet to break through. There's a pass in the middle and they score. That is Grisato. Set up by Radovsky. 15-1. 7.5 minutes and counting to go. That is Grisato's 3rd of the season. He had his first 2 goals in the game that we covered versus Danvers. That game, that was 17-3 was the final, was their highest scoring game of the season. They scored 16 versus Beverly. '12 versus Peabody. We'll see. This might end up being their highest scoring game of the year if they can put a couple more in. But we've picked some good ones to cover. A pass low to Banis at his feet. Couldn't catch it. It's swept to the goalie. He picks it up in the crease. The Witches can't hang on to it. I think this whistle is going to help them out a little bit. Dolan will head to the box for a minute for a tripping penalty. Power play chance here for the Witches. And it's knocked away. Good defense by Bodie Smith. Dulac runs past the defender. Gallo to Halpern. Jared changes direction. Comes near side. Walcott picks it up. Gallo looks middle for Radovsky. And in one motion, he catches it and shoots it by Milano. Radovsky's first of the afternoon. That makes it 16-1. The second on the season for Avon. Six in the first quarter, 4 in the second quarter, 3 in the third quarter, 3 more here in the fourth quarter. Great day for the Magicians offense. Overpowering Salem since the opening faceoff. On their way to snapping a 2-game losing streak. This win will get them back to 500 at 4-4 with a game against Beverly here at Piper Field coming up to begin the month of May. That shot goes wide. That just missed. Walcott was the shooter. 3:15 left in the game. Back to Walcott. He has space to shoot, and he scores. (17-1). Walcott's second of the year. Banis will take the face-off. Thibodeau heads off. Banis pushes the ball forward, goes to get it himself. The pass gets by Walcott into the corner. It's going to be Salem ball. And they turn it right back over. There's Jaden Ortiz, who looked upfield before making the catch. Pops out a Halpern's stick as he was trying to make a pass. I think he was going to look for Bernardo out in front. 1:40 left in the game. Long pass over to Gallo. Now with Banis. Bernardo by the first defender. The second one comes up to guard him and leaves Grisato open. Grisato shovels it out of the middle to Walcott. We'll see if they're content with just passing it around here until the game ends. Or if they do try to score again. It's Grisato. And Walcott. We'll see. Out of respect of the opponent, with such a big lead, you probably just want to keep passing it around. 45 seconds left. Down low to Halpern. 25 seconds to go. Radovsky and Gallo. Down to the final 10 seconds. We'll take a quick break when the game ends, and then we'll come back with the Marblehead Sports Shop player of the game, so stick around. But that will do it. 17-1, the final score here this afternoon. Magicians taking down the Witches easily on home turf. So we'll take a quick break, and when we get back, I'll announce the Marblehead Sports Shop player of the game. So welcome back to MHS Sports on MHTV. Today's Marblehead Sports Shop player of the game is Will Sullivan. Will had a hat trick, scoring goals 4, 5, and 6 in the first quarter. It brings him up to 26 total goals this season. So congratulations, Will, from the Marblehead Sports Shop and MHTV. We'd like to thank the Marblehead Sports Shop for being our community partner and bringing you the Player of the Game award. And we'd like to thank National Grand Bank for being our community partner and bringing you MHS Sports on MHTV. Once again, the final score, Magicians 17, Salem 1. For all of us here at MHTV Sports, I'm Jess Burton. Thanks for watching.